For years, it felt like the AI revolution was just this frantic race to build the biggest, smartest brain. But here's the thing, that race, it's pretty much over. We are deep into a totally new phase now, one where the real winners aren't winning because of their fancy models, but because of something else entirely.
And that question, right there, it gets to the very heart of a massive shift in how power and value are being created. See, the focus has moved away from the AI engine itself and onto the fuel that makes it run.
The whole game has changed. It's no longer about who can cook up the most complex algorithm. The new battle is all about building a moat. Like for a castle, a truly unbeatable advantage. And in the world of AI, that moat is built from one thing and one thing only: data.
Let me break it down. Thanks to big open source projects from giants like Google and Meta, really powerful AI models are basically becoming commodities. You can just go get one. But proprietary data, the data that only you have, see? That's the treasure in the castle. It's unique, it's really hard to get, and you can't just download it somewhere. That is the true competitive edge.
And this brings us to the big idea for this whole explainer. Data is the new oil. I mean, just think about it. Oil fueled the entire industrial revolution. Well, data is the raw material that's fueling this new intelligence revolution. Without it, even the most brilliant AI is just a silent, powerless engine, going nowhere.
And just like crude oil that's pulled straight from the ground, raw data is kind of messy and not very useful on its own. It has to be refined. So first, it's collected from all over the place. Then it gets processed, cleaned up, structured, and organized. From there, it's distributed to the AI systems that need it. And finally, that refined data gets put to work, powering these incredible applications at a massive scale.
And honestly, this analogy goes way deeper than you might think. In the oil economy, you extract. In the data economy, you collect. Oil gets refined into fuel. Data gets cleaned and structured. Fuel powers machines. Data powers AI. But here's the most important part. Control over oil created geopolitical empires. Today, control over data is what's forging technological dynasties.
Okay, so this isn't some far-off theory. This is happening right now, today. The AI data economy is already radically changing the world's biggest industries. Let's take a look at it in action.
In healthcare, you have AIs trained on millions of patient records, spotting cancer with superhuman accuracy. In finance, AIs are digging through decades of transaction data to stop fraud before it even happens. In the auto world, Tesla's cars have gathered billions of miles of real-world driving data, a library no one else can touch. Heck, even the ads you see are hyper-personalized by AI that's analyzed your behavior. The pattern is crystal clear. In every single case, the company with the best data wins. So, how did these companies build such a massive lead? Well, the secret engine driving all this is something called the data network effect. It's this incredibly powerful, self-reinforcing cycle where the data-rich just get exponentially richer.
Okay, here's how it works. Picture a giant, heavy flywheel. It starts when a company gets more users. Those users generate more data. That data is then fed into the AI, which makes the AI smarter. A smarter AI makes the product better. And a better product, well, you guessed it. It attracts even more users. The flywheel just spins faster and faster, creating a data advantage that becomes almost impossible for anyone else to catch up to.
So whenever something becomes this valuable, you know what happens? A gold rush. We are right in the middle of a modern-day gold rush, and a whole ecosystem has sprung up around getting a hold of this new resource. But instead of digging in the dirt, companies are digging for data.
And this leads to the key strategic question for just about any company today. Where do you find this new oil? And it turns out there are a couple of core strategies.
On the one hand, you've got these data marketplaces. Think of places like Snowflake or AWS, where you can literally just buy or license datasets. And that's great for getting started fast. But here's the problem. Your competitors can buy the exact same stuff. The real long-term advantage, the ultimate strategic asset, is proprietary data. The data that only you have, that your users and your operations generate.
But what if you can't collect enough real-world data? This is where things get really fascinating. A solution is emerging called synthetic data. This is where you use an AI to literally create artificial but totally realistic data just to train other AIs. So, for example, instead of needing 1 million pictures of a rare medical issue, an AI can just generate 1 million new ones, all without ever touching a real patient's private information. It's a game changer.
As crazy as all this is, the AI data economy is really just getting started, but it is moving at an absolutely blinding speed. So let's look ahead at the major trends that are shaping its future right now.
First, the scale is just mind-boggling. By 2030, humanity is expected to be generating 500 zettabytes of data every single year. Now, a zettabyte is a trillion gigabytes. But to put that in perspective, all the data created from the dawn of humanity until 2010 was about 1 zettabyte. We'll soon be creating 500 times that much annually. It's just wow.
But this data explosion is just one piece of the puzzle. As data gets more and more valuable, we're seeing entire countries start treating it like a strategic national resource, demanding it stay within their borders. This is going to fuel the rise of these powerful AI data brokers who are going to operate just like oil traders. And maybe the most exciting trend of all, this could all point to a future where individuals like you and me might finally own and even get paid for our own personal data.
So the ultimate takeaway is this. The race for AI dominance is now a race for data dominance. The winners won't just have the cleverest code. They will be the absolute masters of collecting, refining, and using this new oil to build these incredibly powerful ecosystems. The only question left is, in a world that's powered by data, who's ultimately going to own yours?